right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, we're going to talk about Disney. That's right. The left-leaning entertainment entity that, continues to suffer from monetary issues. All right, why do they suffer from monetary issues? Well, we all know they dived full steam into left-leaning identity politics and, of course, woke content, and they destroyed their IPs that they had that were successful for them and their theme parks. I mean, let's be honest. The way they handled Star Wars, it derailed Galaxy's Edge or whatever they called that. I can't even remember what it was called, to be honest with you at this point. I think it was the Galaxy's Edge. Nonetheless, they built it around the sequel trilogy, and everybody was like, we want to see Luke and Han. Can we get some Chewbacca in here somewhere? Anywhere. Can we get a Darth Vader? No. Okay. Well, we just won't come see it. All right. We won't go to that. I mean, heaven forbid. I actually broke down and watched the first thing I've watched on Disney Plus, and I cannot tell you how long, and that was Daredevil Born Again. I watched it last night. It's good. So far, it starts off well, but I will tell you this, it does feel like a notch of a downgrade, believe it or not, from what was on Netflix. All right, but I've said it was the best and is the best comic book television series of all time. All right, the first season of Daredevil is the greatest one ever, followed closely behind by the second season of Arrow. But nonetheless, Daredevil was really damn good, and last night was pretty good. All right, but something still feels off. I'm not going to kid you about that. I'm not going to lie to you about it. And it's because of things like that and feeling off. How about the fact that they own ESPN, which is all the way up in left-leaning politics? How about ABC? Disney owns ABC. Guess where The View is actually, what network that's on? It's Disney. And because of that, their bottom line is suffering, and they're having to continue to fire people. Fire. Right here, more layoffs has hit the Disney grooming syndicate, a wipeout of about 200 jobs, which represents 6% of the staff in two major divisions. About 200 employees are being let go at Disney's ABC News Group and Disney Entertainment Networks unit. People familiar with the matter told the Wall Street Journal, ratings and revenue are down at many cable channels as consumers ditch cable packages and advertisers flee for streaming services and digital platforms. The most interesting nugget is the news that ABC is shutting down the once popular 538, the site created by Nate Silver, touted as a data-driven piece of science that would predict the outcomes of elections, along with things like the Oscars and sporting events. Under Silver, the site did pretty well until the arrival of Donald Trump in 2016, of course, because we've got to go in and change all the algorithms now that Donald Trump's involved, and that's another reason why Disney is crashing and burning. Suddenly, the data-driven began to look more like wish casting, and the site became a joke. Silver left the creation in 2023. 538 blew the 2024 presidential election, and now it's gone. So sad, bye-bye. Giving up 538 is a big deal. The whole idea behind the site was not to reflect what public opinion said in polling, but to shape public opinion. Especially in 2016, 2020, and 2024. They go on to talk about how good Rasmussen is. They're very good. What the closing of 538 tells them is that it was no longer an effective piece of propaganda. Over time, after so many failures, people stopped buying what ABC News was selling. Hey, this is an objective number crunching. This is science. No, really, where is everybody going? So, in other words, people just got tired of their shtick and realized, no, this is not accurate polling. You're obviously doing something to influence it here. You're not paying attention to the public themselves. I mean, my God, if you were paying attention going into the election, not a lot of us were surprised at all that Trump blew everybody out of the water and the Republicans blew everybody out of the water. But look, a lot of polls may not return after that last election. The entertainment job cuts at Disney are exactly what the Wall Street Journal describes. A direct result of people canceling their cable packages and moving to streaming. This inevitability is something I've predicted for 15 years. Cable money was a windfall for mega entertainment companies like Disney. Streaming services are not. As people continue to switch to streaming, more and more of that money, cable TV money, will dry up. Netflix is making a ton of money. The other streaming services are either losing a ton or squeaking a tiny profit. Everything is changing for the better. The less power these monsters have, the safer. Well, I don't know. I continue to say there's even a shift away from streaming. All right. I keep saying there is a cord cutting going on, and it means all the cords, because people are looking up that have streaming services now and realize they're paying as much or more than they were paying for cable or Dish Network or DirecTV. They're like, holy crap, I did this to save money. I just dropped YouTube TV and went back to Sling. Why? $40 cheaper. But I remember when Sling was $35, it's $65 now. All right? A hell of a lot of people have bounced out of Disney Plus, and no, they don't care about ESPN Plus being a part of it and all that crap, because a lot of people have tuned them out too. Outside of live sports, I would never consume anything owned by Disney, to be quite honest with you, generally speaking. I'm giving Daredevil a try because, well, I watched Daredevil when it was over on Netflix. And hell, Netflix ain't much better most of the time. But at least they will put out some content that sort of evens things out. It's going to be interesting if Disney is supposedly getting rid of these DEI programs and this and that and the other. But does anybody really trust Bob Iger right now? We all thought Kathleen Kennedy was gone. And by the way, I think she is still retiring, regardless of how many fits she decides to pitch. I think everybody has sniffed out the fact that, no, this time she's really leaving, and she's mad that everybody started celebrating it when it came out. But nonetheless, none of this matters until the actual content visibly changes, visibly course corrects, and there's no actual confusion in whatever's going on with the Disney company. Look, they got to get back to their roots, theme park, and good non-politically leaning content, and especially for kids. And when they got involved with kids, boy, the bottom really fell out. You know, you start shoehorning some lesbian couples in the Buzz Lightyear. Oh, that gets pretty public real fast. It does. Or you have a bunch of non-binary characters or some crap like that. Guess what? People tune out. You lose money. And then you have to lay off people. And this is how many people now? I think the first 2 or 3 waves was like 7,000 people. A bunch of ESPN guys got caught up in that. Now they're trickling out people. 200 at a time here, whatever, 500 here, 700 here. I don't think anything is going to change until they get new leadership, period. New leadership at Lucasfilm, new leadership at Disney themselves. That means Bob Iger, get out the building. Get out the way. Although some of their employees are pissed because they say that everything seems a lot more pro-Trump inside the building right now. I do find that rather interesting. Like, they're like, the woke employees are freaking out, and that makes me kind of laugh, to be honest. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.